Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And today we are on with the amazing Ambujam Rose, speaking about how to free yourself from illusion. You're not the you that you think you are. And if you've been on with Ambujam before, you know we're going to go deep. We're going to go wide. We're going to touch the heart and we're going to maybe even rewire the brain a little bit to get you in alignment with a freedom that you deserve to be in, with a liberation that's here for us in so many different ways, and the alignment that's going to help us with that. So, we're going to be talking about how to quickly discern fear-based living, ego identity programming, 3D fear-based realities versus the truth of who you are. We're also going to talk about the signs of when you're being influenced by fear and illusion, and there's so much more that's coming through. We're more than likely open up to Q&A as well. And again, it's just going to be a rich call. So I'm excited that you all are here with us. And if you're not familiar with Ambujam is a beacon of light in the realm of quantum energy healing, awakening, and self-embodiment. She stands as an unwavering luminary for your self-awareness, empowerment, and greater consciousness, and with profound understanding of the soul's journey. And her capacity to tap into the soul's journey is just so beautiful and profound. She offers an unmatched mixture of accelerating healing and sparking inner knowing that's going to quicken your awakening and ease your spiritual uplevelings. And it's with that intro, Abu Jam, that I'm so happy to have you back on BTO. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. Hi, you guys. It's so good to be together. I
Mhm.
was really guided to talk about this subject today about illusion, what's not you, fear based energy. And because at the phase of awakening, we could say that we're in, it's important now that we understand and get to practice what is really us and what is not us. And when we started our awakening, whenever that was, even back then, we were confused. We didn't know, right? We're figuring it out, and we're always figuring it out in new stages. But compared now to then, the layers of subtlety that is being triggered now, or that is in our atmosphere, or that is influencing us, is way more subtler than ever. It's not once you recognize it, but when you're going through it, it's so subtle. And so I really want to talk about this today because it just feels like where we're at, we need to have this information. I also, what's interesting, I also see it coming out more like in social media. People are talking about what I'm going to talk about today. And I'm like, huh, that's cool. um, our just like our level of attunement and awareness is so, our discernment right now is just so much more than ever. And yeah, so.
When you say these layers of illusion are subtle, what do you mean by that?
So right now, so I'm going to talk about two things. I'm going to talk about identity, like who we still think we are.
Mm.
Like, I'm Amujam. This is my childhood. These are my preferences. This is what I fully believe to be true and not true. And I 100% am identified with that. And I'm also going to talk about illusion and falsity and manipulation, because
Mm.
those are different things, right? To simplify our awakening, so the truth of who we are, we could say is, I mean, it's everywhere within us, but let's say it's in our the core of who we are in our human bodies. Like it's say it's in the heart, right? When we wake up, the truth of who we are comes through all these veils and all this identity and all this memory and all this is 100% who I am. This light, let's say, just breaks through it all. And that's why it's so confusing at first, because we thought we were all these things. During our embodiment process, the light just keeps getting within us bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and keeps taking up more space in our human internal experience. And
Mm.
so, all these layers of where I have been identified as, let's say, sadness, as fear, as my childhood experiences, as the one who has all these beliefs. all that starts breaking down. And it's who I really thought I was. And I wouldn't know any different until the awakening started. Or else, how would I know? If it was just that, it would still be really subtle because, like, I believe I'm me. It's like wearing a mask. I don't even know I'm wearing one
Mhm.
until something happens in my life where it triggers me in such a way or some sort of situation happens that it kind of starts to break it open. And I'm like, whoa, what do you mean that's not me? Like, some life creates a circumstance to start breaking me open, right? To start cracking the mask, you know? And we all go through this all the time, right? If it was just that, it would still be pretty dang subtle because, again, we believe it's us, right? Where things are now even subtler is we, many people are literally leaving the third dimensional consciousness and going into heart-based consciousness,
Mhm.
quote 5D and up. Okay. The kind of like breaking away, let's say like we were totally in 3D energy, right? And something started happening and we're like, whoa. And we're like breaking away from it and all the energy in our little bodies that has been rooted in fear-based, mind-based, belief system-based, concept-based ways of living and being is literally like we're breaking away from it. And this, the biggest, like when what I saw, what really started that kind of breakaway from many is the past March eclipses that really kind of created a pretty major significant shift in leaving fear-based consciousness and moving into love-based consciousness. So our bodies have been so rooted in fear, control, manipulation, um, anything that is 3D fear-based ways of identification, ways of living. We are literally like breaking away from that. And the roots of our bodies, like imagine if we were flowers and we were planted in fear and we were living this way our whole lives. And then we woke up, but we're still planted in the fear, right? And we're like it's challenging AF, right? To know who we are as we're rooted in fear still, right? Our roots are literally coming out of fear-based energy and going into the love that we are. It's not really something outside of us. But like from a
Mhm.
psychic perspective, it's like there's so many aspects of us and multidimensional parts of us and multidimensional energies and all these aspects of consciousness, and yet it's all in here. And so the breakaway that's happening is literally within us, really. And our whole systems are literally shifting to release living in fear. And we don't, when we think of fear, we think, ooh, I'm like scared. Fear means I'm scared, or fear means I might have a fear of something. We're talking about living in fear energy, which is all about control. I have to control my life. I have to work to trust myself. I have to work to get rid of doubt. It's like a very specific kind of steeped in fear-based energy, which includes a gazillion ways of living that we've all lived in. So as we're breaking free of this consciousness, because it's time, it's our evolution, okay, the illusion of 3D energy, which is don't trust yourself, keep spinning in your head, and I'm just naming a few of how we
Mhm.
can all feel. Um, I feel tired today. I'm lethargic. I want to go to sleep. Um, I can't quite believe myself, no matter how much work I do. no matter how much healing I've done on myself, these issues are still here. Nothing's moving. It's a very specific vibe that doesn't allow us to feel. It's like it's like having a condom on us, or
Hmm.
it's like taking a shower with a raincoat. The water is right there, but we're so used to wearing a raincoat, we don't know what it actually feels like to have the water hit our skin directly. And so the illusion of the third dimensional consciousness is about stay in lockstep, stay in doubt, and for God's sake, do not know who you are, because if you know who you are free, and I can't control you anymore. And so the the perpetuation of self-doubt and not good enough and lack and mm, these belief systems that's been there forever, but because we're breaking free of this energy, it's everywhere. And it's like a vibration or like a flavor that we don't even know is there because we're so freaking used to it. But when you
Hmm.
start paying attention, because it takes a lot of practice to go, wait a minute, something feels off. Again, we don't even know. The signs of the illusionary energy, the fear-based energy, the manipulation energy, to me, is it doesn't feel pure, it doesn't feel natural, and it doesn't feel clean. So when I feel an emotion, if I'm sad or upset, if it's a real emotion, it's like in my heart, like I'm sad.
Hmm.
It feels clean. I'm not scared of it. I don't feel overwhelmed by it. I mean, it might be a lot, or grief, or loss, or betrayal, but there's a pureness to it. And it's not confusing and it's not a maze. And my mind isn't spinning. It's really different than having that emotion plus all this illusion on top of it,
Hmm.
creating it to be way bigger than it is, way scarier than it actually is. So for me, it's like, I describe it as like, it's in the air we're breathing. We don't even know we're doing it because it's been part of our lives. Let's just say for this life. So, however old we are now, we've experienced being steeped in this fear energy to keep us in doubt and keep us controlled and keep us manipulated and keep us in lack and keep us, it's a distraction, right? Like, if we're not paying attention to all that, what would we actually be paying attention to,
Hmm.
right? So this subtlety, when you really start paying attention to how you feel, like when you're in your heart, when you're in your being, even if it's for a glimpse, it feels really clean, is the word I use. It feels sovereign, it feels whole, it feels like full. This other stuff feels like it's like it has a flavor to it and it's everywhere.
Hmm.
And it knows it it knows we're breaking free, so it's louder than ever. It's pulling out all the stops so we continue in this doubt. So we don't really know our sovereignty. Because if I know my sovereignty for real, I will never be manipulated again. It's over, it's done, whatever. And so where stuff gets in, and this is where our power is our wounding, is our stuff. And it just makes it worse, makes it bigger, makes it louder, makes it feel endless. And so if, and this is kind of hard to describe with words, but when we're quote healed in certain things, and the same thing that fooled us yesterday comes along again, we're like, whatever, I don't want to play anymore. Like there's nothing in me that wants to. It's not because I'm angry, it's not because I'm emotional. There's just nothing in me that wants to engage. I just don't want to. Where like yesterday I really did, right?
Mhm.
So where we're still in our process in a very specific way of identity and of healing in a very specific way is where there's stuff, this illusionary energy is sticking. And it's why we can't just be like, no, because something in us still wants to play. And it's not about judging what that is. It's like, dudes, we've been awake for this long. We've had this many thousand of gazillion of lifetimes in this habit, right? So we're at a different stage now in our awakening that all this illusionary stuff is being seen. It's coming out in a way that it never has before. So that's what I want to share for now, I guess.
Well, and that's also requiring a different understanding of who we believe ourselves to be, a re-identification process that's occurring, and that can throw us for a loop because things don't make sense in the way they used to. We can't create
Mm-hmm.
in the way that we used to. I used to love grapes in that past lifetime. I can't stand grapes now. I can't put one in my mouth. I don't know why. But there is this reintegration process that's part of that sovereignty that once you've been enslaved for so long that once the shackles come off, you don't know what to do with yourself sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's such like that's part of all this. Like you said, like we it's like we don't know how the mind doesn't know how to grasp this level of freedom that we're actually at
Mhm.
because we're so used to being enslaved. And I don't want to share all this to create drama, right?
No, this is awareness, and it's important to understand a particular phase in the metamorphosis process that we're in, because then we can understand that we're going towards something, not
Mm,
atrophying into something that doesn't where we
mm.
don't fit anymore.
Yeah, and like there's like a spinning to it that it feels like. And it's like we don't even it's like one of those things where you kind of wake up in the middle of it sometimes and you're like, "Whoa, I was in that for hours. That wasn't even me."
Mhm.
And we won't be in this phase forever either. It's just a junction right now. And spirit's calling you guys the light bearers of like having your torch, which is your own light, your own self, and like continuously going no matter what. And you're it's like the forest is dark and you're like walking with your light on a torch and you only see things that are in front of you, not 5 miles from here,
Mhm.
right? Or as far as that light reaches in this moment. And we've not done this before. Like we haven't had this phase before. So it's really new for us of how to navigate it and how not to get in drama about it and not to get lost in it and have compassion and have kindness for ourselves and go, wait a minute, okay, I'm learning something brand new I've never done before.
Mhm.
And like you said about creativity, if we go in manifestation, if we go back to just the identity that we're waking up out of, right? Like I used to know how to manifest super, 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 super well before I woke up. And then I woke up and I couldn't do anything.
Mhm.
And I had to relearn because I couldn't do it from my mind and I couldn't do it from the part of me that learned how. I'd
Mhm.
focus on it, I'd bring it in my body, I'd feel it, I'd do all these things and it would work. And I created my whole life from that. And then my whole life went away because the true self was like front and center and I had to like partner with it and be like, how do I create now? I have no idea. And it's really scary. And we all go through through different waves of like, I have no idea how to manifest right now. I have no idea how to create. I don't even know how to tune into myself right now. Like, what? And it's all normal until
Mhm.
we kind of, until something emerges again and we kind of get into another spot. Um, so like the image I always have a lot of of an example of illusion and identity, and then we have past life stuff, and then we have this life stuff, is like a circle within the circle within circles within circles within circles. And the core circle is who and what we really are. And all these circles around it is illusion and 3D energy and fear-based energy and past life stuff. And to the degree that we awaken is to the degree that this stuff comes out like this. Because it can. It has the amount of light to support the release of it. Right. So as we keep going, more and more will keep becoming revealed. So it's like to the degree that somebody awakens is the degree that their stuff is unearthing in them.
Mhm.
It's very like that. Like it's so direct like that. And so what was I going to say? Oh, so because of the degree that you guys and everybody is awakening now on the path in this way, there's more circles around the true self, we could say, that are now triggered, and that's the subtlety. And the mind doesn't know what to do with them because it's never been here before. Like years ago, our minds kind of figured it out. Oh, there's a true self. I just go in my heart and I kind of breathe there for a while and I'm okay. And I still got
Right.
to figure my life out right from there. But it was, quote, easier, even though it didn't seem though at the time, because we didn't have the amount of awakeness within us or the amount of light that's now surfaced that we have access to. And therefore, we don't have the amount of stuff that's being cleared in us that we have access to. So it's a very slippery slope right now of finding that true self, the truth, the light, the love, the compassion, however everybody feels their true self, how they connect, and like hang on and
Mhm.
really ask it to show you and teach you, who are you even? What are you even at this point? And what is there to be and do? And it's like our minds can't grasp it right now. And so we're all finding, how do you listen differently or deeper, feel your intuition deeper, your knowings deeper, your inclinations deeper. Like again, it's a whole new game now, whole new level that we're at. And so the illusionary stuff, the manipulation stuff is very, very real
Mhm.
because it's just been there forever. It's been covered forever, and now it's not covered anymore just because of the awakeness that's happening on this planet. And so it's important to, when you're doing your healing on yourself, it's important to make sure that what you're focusing on is actually you,
Mhm.
right? And it's, to me, when it is me at the level that me is still here, let's say, right? The me that I'm still healing, that I have childhood stuff, that I have fears and I have traumas. When I really get to that, there's a pureness to it and it's clean and it's almost like, there I am. Like it feels free, even though it's a strong emotion or something. And how each one of you guys take what I'm sharing and make it your own, right? Like, what does this mean for you? How do you experience this stuff? You know, it's wild, man. Like, we've never been here before.
We haven't. Again, the dismantling of fear-based creation is happening. It's
It's
happening.
happening.
And it is a dismantling. And that's why some of
Mhm.
the things that we want to put into motion now, some plans that we'd love to have for our lives, or we can see potentials ahead. But if we start building it now, it's like the field's like, nope, you're still in the process of getting into a more pristine awareness as to
Mhm.
the why you're creating what you're wanting to create. That intentionality, that awareness, that resonance from that heart consciousness level is refining and guiding the way. And
Mhm.
there's a mechanism within us that is triggered, it's awakened, that says we're not going to let you succeed in the old type of programming, creation, manifestation. It's just we are so loved, we're being so facilitated, and it's this new consciousness that
Yep.
we're going to get
Doesn't
into.
even let us.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're going to get it. Not into just the manipulation that was imposed upon us, but the manipulation that we've carried and engendered in our own mind and being of way of creation is dismantling as well. So we're getting to know all those mirrors as parts of ourselves, and when we get to know those components of manipulation within us, within our own lives, our own creation, our own wishes for ourselves that are based on fear, that are based on illusion, then we're really able to carry that
Hmm.
torch in a much brighter way forward.
Hmm.
We're creating in that new field. And I feel the rub, the tension between the two. A lot of us are in that space,
Yeah,
kind
that's a
of
good way to
weaving back and forth
put
and
it.
feeling it, and our minds feeling it, our bodies feeling it, our
Hmm.
relationships are feeling it, or it's but it's all here really demonstrating what's available next and what it's calling for me is
Yeah, and
patience.
it's like, do we have the courage to trust this process to take us to the real thing that wants to manifest for us, right?
Well, I think courage is whether you have it or not, you're going to get to experience it because we're all being guided there.
Yeah, and it's like psychically for
We will find
me,
it.
because
Hmm.
I see it all. I see mechanisms. I see like I like how I see goes from seeing like a very specific kind of like how frequencies create then a feeling, like it's like the
Mm,
scaffolding of something, all the way through to like a solid form of a person having an experience or a past life image. And it look to me, it like looks like a movie, literally, like in front of me starts playing. And so just like the spectrum of how I see things, when I watch what's going on now, just like with just one person, like what
mm,
you're saying, there's so much happening in the field that is birthing and dying and birthing and dying and birthing and dying and birthing and dying and birthing and dying, that the truth within the person is the one that's doing that, we could say. And so it doesn't be like, oh no, this thing didn't manifest. It goes, don't want it. Oh,
mhm,
don't want it. And there's a consciousness that's doing that within the person. Our minds aren't aware of that. We go into victimhood and what did I do wrong and that kind of stuff, right? I mean, we're human, right? We're all these aspects
mm,
simultaneously, right? And then so not only is the like this truth that just keeps birthing wider and wider and more through itself and through itself and through itself, then you have we could say the divinity of how everything is commingling and working. And when one soul makes a specific choice, it affects us that we may not even meet that soul and vice
mm,
versa. And so there's this whole like weather system happening, we could say, of lack of a better word, all this timing going on. And so what I've seen is when somebody starts their awakening journey, because as we all know, you don't just have it once. That was just the beginning, right? When that happens, that person's life is no longer just about them anymore. It's about
mm,
the whole, and it's about how that unique expression of that person is connected to the whole. And if the whole shifts and the thing that was no longer needed for that person to assist the whole, it will not happen. And it's not because the person did something right or wrong. And so it's like there are all these levels of consciousness that are happening simultaneously within us that is not from an issue perspective or because there's something right or wrong. There's an awakeness going on, and we affect each other. And we
mm,
are all part of ushering in this new era, this new human, this spiritual human, this awakened, living, breathing human being on this planet. And because we're all part of it, we're all part of the one, we're all serving the one without realizing we are. And so if I'm about to do something that no longer serves the one, it won't freaking happen. And it's not it's challenging to describe this because it's something words could never describe, this like the sacredness of it, or the sanctity of it, of, or like how things are actually moving and shifting in consciousness. That's not about an identity.
Mhm.
It's about it's like all for one and one for all kind of thing. And we don't know that, we don't know our role in it. The mind doesn't know our role in it. And so many times I see, like, when something's about to manifest for somebody and then it didn't, there's 1,000 reasons why that didn't happen, and it's not because of an issue.
Mm,
And, like, it's bringing me to another thing I just wanna say too, is, like, because of where we're at now, our journey isn't just about healing, quote, "issues" anymore, right? It's not only about that anymore. To It's about discernment and becoming who we are and realizing who we are in all these different kind of ways and phases. And healing is still part of it, but it's not the only focus anymore, right? It's, yeah, there's so much happening simultaneously, and our minds don't know how we are all serving one another by when something doesn't manifest.
mm, right. But again, having that understanding, it's like there's a greater level of trust in the alignments that are taking place because the alignments are unmistakable. It's unmistakable what is
In
happening.
different ways, like
Absolutely.
what you're saying. Like, I want to add, like, what we have to understand about what you're saying is where the alignments are happening now is not, we could say, our minds.
Oh no. It's everything.
Mm.
Yeah, it's profound. So, Ambujam, let me ask you this. As we're gaining greater awareness, and it's wonderful to bring this conversation into the light because it gives context to something that's, again, that's so brand new and such a jarring experience.
Jarring. Yeah,
Jarring.
it
It's
is.
very
Yeah.
jarring for the psyche and for the ego and for how we've created things and for structures and foundations that we have lived by, that we have made our temples and our gods and our source and supply. It's jarring. There's no mistaking about it. Um, but we have an inclination, there's a leaning forward into something that's activating and awakening. That's something that we felt even though we didn't even know maybe how to name it, of
Hmm.
going to a place that feels home, that feels that's where I belong, that feels expansive, that feels creative, that feels powerful. Again, it's the flip side of the limitations of the fear.
Hmm.
Knowing how this is navigating, how can we work with the power of our focus to direct a direction that we want to be navigating in?
So, how I see that is, like, we all have one job:
Hmm.
keep bringing your focus back to the truth of who you are over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And there is the truth. There's your true life. And it's just the beginning, because it's like it's endless in there, right? So we're used to keeping our focus on all the noise. It's normal. To simply train ourselves to have our focus on the true self, we have to train ourselves, literally.
Yeah.
And to continuously be like, oh, I'm there goes my focus again, back to something that makes me feel like shit. Let me get out of there. Let me bring back here. And what's interesting when we keep practicing that, and this is where kind of physics comes into play in a way. When you bring your focus, like wherever you put your focus, there you are,
Hmm.
more than ever. So when you
Hmm.
bring your focus out of weirdness, out of whatever you've got going on, right? That is many things. When you keep bringing it back to let's just say your heart, your beingness, your breath,
Mm,
your sovereignty, your wholeness, your sacredness, your divinity, whatever it is that we all like do, in that moment, that is all that exists because your focus is there.
mm,
That's it. Like, that's how powerful we are. The noise no longer exists because I'm not giving it any energy. Whatever I give energy keeps existing. So, in that moment, if we use like the whole timeline thing, right? When we have our focus in the truth of who we are, we could say everything collapses into that moment. Done.
mm,
Just here, just this. And we go from there. But the second we start pulling our focus out of there again, we're back to the quote, that timeline now, because we literally are looking at it. Like, that's how powerful we are now. And sometimes what's around me is so strong and so intense, I have to count. I bring my awareness on my heart and I go, 1, 2, because I'm giving
mm,
my mind something to do. Otherwise, it's too strong with what's in my space, triggering me. So I count 1, and I keep my focus on my light or in my heart. 2, 3. And by the time I get to about 16, 17, 18, okay, the energy starts to shift. And
mm,
now it's just starting to be this. And to feel the habit to want to go out there, to be like, 2, 3, 4. I do whatever I can to retrain my focus because nobody's doing it for me. Spirit's not doing it for me. My angels aren't doing that for me anymore. We're not getting a little
mm.
tap on the shoulder. We're sovereign beings. So it's time to live that way. So we're not getting the quote guidance like we used to. We don't need it. We think we need it,
Ah,
right? But it's like mama bird, baby bird. We got to figure out how to fly or we're going to die. We can't keep getting swooped in. We needed that years ago
mhm,
when we're just starting out, right? Little baby birds just starting out. What's this awakening thing? What do you mean I'm not this, right? We needed a
huh,
lot of support and guidance. And often when people first start their path of following their intuition and stuff is really loud. There's a lot of miracles because we need that to
mm,
believe, right? Then as we get on it, it's stuff's not happening anymore. So we have 100% power of where we keep our focus. Nobody's helping us out,
mhm.
as they should not be at this point, because we are sovereign beings. It's time to exercise that.
I'm really glad you brought forward that we're not getting tapped on the shoulders in the way that we were, and again, it's we're being pushed out of the nest because it's true. I've had that experience dramatically, and I went through periods like I don't know why I'm not connected in the way that I typically
Mhm.
am. But what I am aware, though, in the process of all this, my knowing that internal compass has gotten so much more stronger than it ever was. And so it's the leaning into that, starting to use that which has been accumulated and
Mhm.
knowing what an amazing woodworker are because you've learned how to use the tools.
Because you
And
had to.
it's right there because you have to, because it's not, it's
You had
like,
to
all right,
figure it
well,
out.
they're not there, then it's, I guess, all right, it's me, myself, and I. And actually, I was going through a deep process, and some of y'all have heard this in some of the other shows, where I kept going into meditation and getting into stillness. Like it's like, all right, where can I get that energy back? Where is it that
Mhm.
recognition, that support, uh, the connecting to God or guides or angels or whatever? And it's just it wouldn't come. And then I heard very clearly, and it was from myself, breathe yourself in instead of breathing something outside of you
Mhm.
in. Breathe yourself in. And so I started getting into a place where I was circulating my energy, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's what I've been looking for this whole time.
It's
Is
like pure
liberating.
love. Only pure love can stand there and watch you be like, hello?
Mhm.
Meow. And it's like, he'll figure it out. Watch, he'll figure it out.
Mm,
Right? It's like Space is still held for us, but it's different now.
Mhm.
And it's like, thank God. Like only pure love can stand there and watch a child to have a temper tantrum and not get in the way, knowing at some point the child's going to tire itself out, and not because nobody made it do that, right?
We're not being abandoned. We're being shown it's like you've got this, and not, you're doing it. You're doing it. Why? Because you can. If I didn't think you could,
Hmm.
I wouldn't let you. Love you too much
Yeah,
to
like,
have you fall that hard.
say that again.
I love you too much to allow you to fall that hard.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, like most of my days, like 99% are filled with like nothingness.
Hmm.
And I understand what it is, but my mind is still like, shouldn't you be doing something other than what you're doing? And I'm like, but there's nothing to do. And I know it's a phase. I know I'll do later whenever
Hmm.
it's time, but learning like this too is it. It's not what it felt like years ago. And I had to go through like, I wouldn't say I'm 100% through it, but I'm way more better now. So when my gifts first turned on 30 years ago, I had miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle for years happening to me. And that doesn't happen anymore. And for a few years, like within the last 10 years or so, I was going through this like identity crisis. It is the only way I know how to call it, of like, wait, I should feel invigorated like I used to. I should feel guided like I used to. I should have all these synchronicities like I used to. And I kind of had to go through this really profound, like, like scraping my face against the sidewalk to actually let that part of my life go because it's not where I'm at anymore. I don't need those things. And yet my personality is like, wait, why isn't that happening anymore? Where'd they go? You know?
Hmm. Yeah.
And I think we all go through that in our own ways when we need to. It's like a grieving of who we used to be and how we don't need those things anymore, even though we
Mhm.
still think we do, right?
Right. But the excitement and the playfulness and the awe and the wonder, and we're being invited to witness awe and wonder in different ways. Actually, I believe that we're being invited to witness the awe and wonder within each other rather than the celestial, rather than
Mm,
in spirit form.
mm. Say more about that.
I think we've been so focused on seeing the miraculous outside of ourselves
Mm,
and in ways that spirit could conjure an experience for us about what was possible and who was holding us and how magic could happen. But as we started experiencing that magic, we weren't realizing that we were being empowered with becoming that magic, of recognizing that within ourselves, where it was all landing and
dismantle.
activating within
Mm,
us. And so the reliance on awe and wonder being from these esoteric,
mm,
mysterious places is landing all back in. And we're actually seeing with different colors, we're feeling with different chakra systems that have been activated. We're seeing the light in others and the distortion in others as they're refining themselves as we are.
mm,
That is all becoming more apparent. And as we slow down and pay attention to that, we're getting to see the miracles and the nuances
mm,
of the
mm.
birthing that's taking place within ourselves. I mean, if we really pause and if you look at who you were 30 years ago compared to where you are now, could you imagine where you'd be now? Forget
No.
success and houses and all these things and consciousness and who yourself, you know yourself to be in ways that you never could have even begun to imagine was possible. We're living, walking miracles, all of
I
us right here
know.
today.
And what you're saying is reminding me of the refining of
Hmm.
like this awakening journey can be described in many, 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 many ways. But truly, the truth is, it's pretty darn simple. And the more refined we get, the more simple we get. Like, oh,
Hmm.
it's just this. I had to go all the way around to
Yeah,
know, which is fine. Otherwise, I wouldn't know. Like, we can only speak of what we know, right?
right.
And so, yeah, of course, I guess to say what you're saying would come down to that because it's coming out of the mysterious and the kind of whatever it is that we thought we were chasing, right? It's just like it's beyond amazing, really.
Well, and we're becoming like children again, the awe and the wonder of children
Mm.
in the mundane world where or so many things are just awe-inspiring.
And I love
As
how you so,
I was just going to say,
sorry, go ahead.
as we're creating with new scaffolding in this way, we're really getting to play and witness what's possible with the
Mm.
different Legos that we have access to. It's 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 really quite miraculous, and we're distilling more into how precious that truly is, how precious it is to
Mm.
be in this human body and
Mm.
to be able to have these experiences of the polarities so that we can understand the depth of the beauty that exists in this universe.
Yeah, I love how you call it to lean in
Hmm.
because that's what it's like. Like when you ask about, we talk about using the power of our focus to focus on ourselves and keeping it out of all that stuff over and over and
Hmm.
over again until this becomes normal. But we're leaning in. Like that's the image I always have is like for me, it's like like I lean back in my true nature, or I lean in because I'm coming out of all this stuff over here, you know?
Hmm. Nice.
I feel like we want to do a little group process to like lean in.
I think we definitely want to do a group process, and let's do it in a second. We also want to take Q&A. There's people, their hands raised,
Yeah.
questions in the chat. And let's let's go into the special offer first because you're offering a whole processing field, live one and a recorded one as well, uh,
Hmm.
through part of the special offer. And I'd love everybody to understand why these are so special in the way that you put these together. So I'll click on the special offer link underneath the video where you're watching the call from. Same on the replay. The link is underneath the video. You'll see the replay button. The link's also in the chat box, so you can always access the special offers at beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace. And Ambujam, guide us through
Mm.
this amazing time that people are going to get to experience with you.
Yeah, so I never create anything like from my mind, so I was like tuning in, what do I want to do for an offer? And with this whole topic that we're talking about today about illusion and identity and manipulation and just all the things that you are not, this 2-hour retreat came through where the overview is the truth of who you are is that core of yourself. This whole 2-hour retreat, we're going to be releasing all, not only outer illusion, 3D energy, all the stuff that you're leaving that much faster, but we're going to be addressing what in you is still holding on to fear, holding on to illusion. Why do you still need to play there? Right? So it's going to be this deep 2-hour super deep, steep, we could say, of massive release of illusion, fear based energy, 3D based energy, working with past lives, parallel lives, this life stuff. It's just this huge, massive release of everything that you are choosing to walk away from and heal from in your life when we meet.
Mm.
And so when we do these sessions, they always meet you exactly where you are in your healing and awakening journey. And so my skill set is to see where you are awakening, like exactly, and how that is triggering very specific things to heal and complete. And so when we meet as a group, you guys all bring that forward, and we're just going to be doing just a huge amount of clearing illusionary energy manipulation. Where you've given your power away, why are you still doing that, where are you still doing that, what within you is still releasing trauma or thinking it has to heal in certain ways that just don't fit you anymore. Like, it's truly endless what we'll be clearing, because you guys are going to bring the details of what around your light, we could say, can go now.
Mm,
And what was interesting, and all the details are on the sales page, but that's like the gist, like massive clearing of that which creates you to quote, be an illusion, be in that which is not you. And what was interesting is this: the second I got the topic, the date of August 22nd came in, and I'm like, okay, I don't even know when that is. But for some reason, Spirit kept choosing August 22nd. So I went to my calendar and I'm like, well, it's a Friday. Okay. Like, mentally, I want to do it on a weekend, hoping more people can, come because it's the weekend. But August 22nd, there's something going on around that time that this is the perfect, ripe time to do this huge clearing.
mm,
And then I also felt like I wanted to add my group power healing that we did live to the recorded live MP3 of that, which is clearing away 3D energies in your system to help this whole process. And all the info is on there on your page as well. So it's a massive, it's like we could say the retreat is this two-part thing. Not only is it clearing all the stuff that you're walking away from to help that happen easier, faster, but it is addressing what in you is still giving energy to fear, illusion, doubt, not believing in yourself, living in that 3D energy. What is it in you now that's ready to let go
mm.
so you can, you know, embrace and embody your freedom of who you really are? So that's the gist.
It's amazing working with Ambujam. Um, Ambujam, it's been a couple of years since I've had a session with you. I've listened and participated in some of your other work that's been online. Um, but something shifted in you. Again, your capacity to weave into like the core of what wants to expand and grow and transform and also be released and healed is profound.
Mhm.
But what are you noticing and how you're being accelerated in your capacities to assist people with their awakening?
Well, I'm going to sum it up with one word. Well, two
Beautiful.
words: my relationship. Three more words: with my husband. Okay.
Oh, wait. Okay. You have to tell us more. So I love the
so
log line. I love the opening, but okay.
So I'm gonna simplify. So there's uh, so there's that, but energetically, how work has always worked through me is, whatever's going on energetically in the times, my system just meets, and it's just able to meet what's needed in the time that we're all in. It's just always been that way. So it just keeps up leveling and up leveling and up leveling
Mhm.
energetically to what's needed now. And so the groups that we're able to do now, because of where you guys are at and what you're ready to release and awaken, that's what up levels me to meet that. And so it's just a constant, like, up leveling, because you guys are up leveling.
I understand. Yeah.
But where the rubber meets the road for me, that makes me really good at what I do, is when I met my husband 16 years ago, almost 17 now. When we met, so I thought I knew what my awakening was. I thought I knew what intimacy was. I thought I knew all that. And then I meet my husband, and I'm sitting in front of him. We're having dinner, like our first date. And my heart was like, huh, I can truly be myself in front of this person. I've never been able to do that before. It's so easy. I feel like me. And yet my personality was looking at him being like, no, nope, not my type, blah, 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 blah. And so there was like two of me. One was my heart and how I was feeling in my heart, and the other was all these ideas and concepts and and conditions, responses, and all these things. And I was certain that I'm not attracted to him. He's not my type. Um, but let's be friends and let's see what happens. I tell him. He's like, okay. Meanwhile, he's having a whole other experience of me, but I'm having my experience. And I'm like, nope. So I said, oh, I have a class to go to. I'll be gone for a couple of weeks. Let's have a discussion while I'm in the class. He's like, okay. So we go out. We're living in New York City at the time. We go out, we get a cab. He opens the door for me to go in the cab. I give him a hug, and my heart goes, I'm home. I was like, what? And I got in the cab, shut the door, and went home, and I was so excited. It wasn't emotional though. I was like, I can't wait to talk to him again. I can't wait. I can't wait. And my mind was like, dude, he's not your type, remember? Like, what are you doing? That was the beginning of me really realizing my true self versus everything else. So it's been hard fought for me. If this is like my spiritual ground, my spiritual teaching ground, it's been hard fought for me to feel my heart and feel what's actually happening like in my being and in my soul, how warm it feels and nurturing and full, and quiet, to all my rants. And I've had to face each rant to be like, are you true or is this true? Which is true? And I've learned a lot in the 17, 16 years. And it's like my proving ground. It's my spiritual ground of where my deepest identity gets triggered. Because it doesn't get triggered in my work, doesn't get triggered with friends, just doesn't. I mean, with friends to a degree, right? But not like this. I'm not
Right.
having to face, well, why am I having these two totally different experiences? One of them can't be the truth. What is
Mm.
going on? Because I never was forced to have that experience. I was never forced to have to look at it before because nothing ever happened to me like that before. So that's what makes me really good at what I do because I'm living it daily. Of I could easily just run away and listen to all these things, or I can dig deep, lean in, follow my heart, and deal with, well, what is actually being triggered
Mhm.
and why? Then, and this is a little personal, but I feel like it's important as well, then just our relationship is under attack a lot because of our past lives, because energy doesn't want us to be together, because of what happens when I'm in my power, he's in his power.
Mm.
And so I'm dealing with things that I never had to deal with before of outer energies and learning what's what, me giving my power away in all these lives, like all these things have come up for me to really reconcile. And it's not easy. It's not been easy because it feels like me, right? Like not my type. Yet my heart's like, ah. So that's my answer.
A lot of refinements along the way, and then
Yes.
choosing to walk the experience and to be in the questioning of your true self rather than in the provocation of the illusion or the fear.
And it feels so real.
Yeah, it is real until it's not anymore. Until we're brave enough to look under the bed and go, oh wait, there's
Mhm.
nothing there.
There's nothing. Could have sworn. Yeah.
I felt it, I
And then
heard
and
it.
it's helped me in all my relationships because when I get triggered with a friend or something now, I'm like, wait a minute. Do I just want to run away because of this now? Where years ago I'd be like,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, wait a minute. So it's just helped me in all areas of my life.
But then the nuances of that, and the training, again, it's a refinement process where your capacity to go in and even hone in more deeply and more accurately into the place and the people that you work with is like, I can see it plain as day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just becoming so much more obvious because we are becoming more empathic. We're seeing with more clarity. We're not putting our power into something else, but rather into a deep awareness that we've always had the capacity to see and be with clarity. But again,
And
these
now that's
other
all awakening in
veils,
us, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's easy
profound.
for us to see when somebody else is in their stuff or when somebody else is in some manipulation illusion. You're just like, dude, that's not you. But when it's us,
Hmm.
like the fire's hot.
Yeah,
Can't say, oh, the fire's not hot. It's like, no. Yeah, it's our own stuff is our hardest. Releasing
mm,
our identities, waking up out of ourselves is the hardest thing.
for
Yep.
sure. All right, let's get into some Q&A, some hands raised. We're going to get into
Yes,
a process also, y'all.
please.
So we're going to dive in. Jenny, let's start with you. Welcome to the call. Hello, Jenny. We can't hear you,
Here,
love.
I'm here. I'm sorry. My
There
dog
you are.
jumped on me. I lost the street. Um,
Hi.
I'm like, the Holy Spirit doesn't want this to happen. Okay.
Right.
I'm okay with that, John. We'll move on. Um, a lot of what you have talked about today really resounds with me as far as looking at things that no longer serve you. And the emptiness I feel is scary. Um, And I don't know when this is gonna happen or why or whatever, but is there, something in me that needs to be released that I keep missing?
Um, my first question to you is how long have you had that question that you feel like, is there something in me that needs to be released? Is it years? Is it today? Is it
Well, I think this year I've had to release a 40-year friendship. I'm starting to release relationships in my family, and it's painful. I have questioned, whether my spouse has been the one. And as you said, your relationship, your change came because of your husband, and mine's just going on for 35 years now. So I hope I answered your question.
kind of? But I'm going to go with what you're
Mm,
showing me about your. There's to simply answer, there's like two answers to your question. One is from the awakening perspective, that which is doing you, creating this emptiness, creating this space, creating this question, creating all this kind of like you're on a ride, you're being driven, right? We could say you're the passenger being like, right? From that perspective, the truth within you, we could say, is it's got you on a journey
mm,
of like being on a river and going around the reefs, and you know you're going somewhere, and you think you're going to turn a corner, and oh, there'll be the end. Oh, it's just another corner. That that experience is timeless
Mm,
because the truth of you is doing it. There's a letting go that you are, and it's been happening. I just like this very kind of specific letting go has been happening for like a good 3 years, I'd say, kind of constantly,
mm,
solidly. The more you can surrender, knowing that that is you, you are being led by yourself, by the truth of you, which has no label. It almost has no face, but it's alive and it has energy. If you can trust that that's only you leading you to a awakening, embodiment, what is really real for you, trust that without a time limit of when will this ride be over? When will I know? Because you can't um, do a reading on the truth because it it has its own intelligence, we could say, and it knows where it's taking you. But you can't predict, oh, that's about a year, or that's 2 more weeks, because it's literally an alive energy that keeps gathering information as it goes down the river.
And I don't think I meant when, but more your reassurance of what I'm experiencing, which is it feels like null. It's like I'm letting go of things.
Yes.
That's a little crazy making for me. Um,
If
because
you,
my mind is so active.
yeah, I totally get that.
Mm.
And the reason why I had to say no, no time limit that you can give it is because it's the catalyst to let go consciously. So the thing is already happening to you. The more you can consciously partner and be like, this is my lazy boy chair, this is my couch, until it's not. And it's like this deep trust of that river. And it's pure and it's real and it's full and it's nameless, but it's a feeling.
Mm.
And the more you can like consciously get, we could say, comfortable with it, or being consciously being comfortable with being uncomfortable, that part will be easier because you're consciously being like, okay, okay, uncle, right? That when you, we could say, dive in there, lean in there, your questions will start being answered that you have.
And they are.
Because,
I mean, it takes a couple of
yeah,
days, but that patience is just tough.
Mm.
yep. It's like looking at a baby in a mommy's belly forming. That's what this is like.
Mm.
You know it's going to birth at some point into something. And it may not be the best analogy because you know it's about 9 months, right? Give or
Right.
take.
I was gonna say the time thing doesn't work.
Yeah, the time thing doesn't work, but it's the image of you becoming, it's like a rock rolling over in the river constantly, right? It's being tumbled until it reaches its destination. And so the more you can consciously go there, the more it will give you answers about your life, like the physical life.
Mm.
Lovely. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, love. Hmm.
Yeah, blessings, Jenny. The- I think it's fantastic to look at whenever we ask for timing for something. It's like, I'm looking for an escape route. I wonder why. Let me let me just have compassion that I'm looking for a way to run in a particular direction when a supposed door opens. And that's still a function of the illusion and of fear whenever we ask for those
Fear.
particular constructs, because
Yep.
again, we're trying to build out of a safety that we know rather than in a new paradigm that's awakening within us.
Yeah, which is totally letting go into that. And we all, we're human, so we're like, hurry up.
Yeah.
I don't
Gotcha.
want to have this experience anymore. And when we're sensitive, let's say, and energetically and quote psychically, whatever we want to call it, our senses feel like it's tomorrow. And yet 5 years have gone by and you're like,
Yeah.
huh? Those are the hardest ones.
Mhm.
And like
Oh,
you said in the
I know
beginning,
something
like
was
every,
supposed to create 10 years ago. It's like it's finally like starting to like maybe take place, but I've
Yes.
every ounce of my being that it's supposed to happen. It's like when, and
Yep.
get
When.
glimpses of
That
it,
is the
and you really get
hardest. Yeah, it's
yeah.
the hardest part.
Hmm. Jenny,
You
thank
said
you.
it's
Thank you for your question.
fear-based. Yeah, when we want it to hurry. Why do we want it to hurry, I wonder? What am
Because
I
the
trying
promise
to
of it
avoid in
sounds
this moment?
something.
What'd you say? Sorry.
I was gonna say we wanted the promise of that creation sounds like it's gonna fulfill something.
Yep.
Yeah. We gotta love the humans. We give ourselves. All right, let's continue. Christine, welcome to the call.
Hello. Yeah, thanks for
Hello.
question. So I am like, recently connected with somebody online from a group that we're in, and this younger female, um, she's kind of experienced, has understanding of some of this kind of darker energy, manipulative energy, and also the kind of trauma that my husband is kind of like we've been dealing with. And basically what it is that she has had to carry her mother in a way through her whole life. She's from Saudi, my husband's from India, so it's like different type of energy than what I'm used to, which I can't even connect and like see what's happening, but I know that things don't feel right. And so she can help me to identify these things. But really he's had to carry his mother, and now we've been together for 20 some years, but and he's disabled, and I'm getting tired of it, feeling alone and carrying him and seeing his wounded boy like show up and having to like repair something from his grandfather that never got finished. And I don't know what to think of that whole project or not, but it's taking up time, causing me to feel alone. And I am, just curious as to how this relationship with her is like kind of catalyzing this like sense of like, I'm not okay with this. And I've always, she says you come so much from this unconditional love frequency, and you can't even see kind of what's going on, how he'll use his love to weaponize it against me. And like he's basically a good guy, but all this trauma stuff is causing, all this manipulation and challenges that is also stripping me of my self-esteem and dignity. So I mean that's kind of what I'm laying out, and I'm curious
Mm.
if you get any sense. And actually I was thinking about doing your program, but I have something else from John that I'm already committed to. So I didn't know if there was another way to connect, because I feel like the type of work you do might be helpful.
Well, with everything that you just said, the one thing that keeps coming up is your little girl self. And she's kind of like 7-ish,
Mm,
5 to 7. And so when we, do quote readings with each other, it's like you guys are all this like multifaceted jewel. And I see one facet, right? With everything that you just said. This is the one that's sticking out, right? Your little girl self from this life, 5, 6, 7 years old, she feels alone on this planet in a very specific way as a kid with your family. And like no one's there, no one sees you. And you're like, it's overwhelming as a child to feel that way. Because where you're looking for some, like where that child is looking for some sort of reflection that, hey, I see you, you're okay, you're safe in this form, in this body, she's not getting it. She didn't get it. And this, when you talk about this situation, to me, what it's bringing up is this part. not the only thing it's bringing up, right? So, and this sounds like really, you know, like this might sound too simple, like, well, how will that heal this kind of thing? But what I keep getting to tell you is you're the one that can see her. You're the one that can grab her and hold her and be like, I see you. I know no one ever has in the way that you've been looking for the reflection, but that's my job now. I've got you. So when you start connecting with her and holding her and seeing her and letting her tell you all about it, right? And you're being there for her and you're listening. When you start consciously building that relationship with her, it'll give you more like a grounding within yourself and more clarity of how to best move forward with your situation.
Mm.
And so she's part of like the string with your on your kite. You need to hold your kite or else the wind is like taking the kite everywhere, right?
Mm.
So that's what I see about this right now is
It's beautiful.
she needs to be recognized that she's unique and a gem and all the
Mm.
things that she needs to hear, but she needs to hear it from you. So she has an anchor.
Thank you.
Mm. Beautiful, Christine. How's that feel?
Like it's hard to connect with her, like to really do that, but I will work on it.
Yeah,
Let me
just
give
one
you
step at a time.
let me give you an easy prompt.
Right.
Ask her what she's want that she's not getting and how it makes her feel that she's not getting it.
Mhm.
And do this consistently. It's not just the one and done. It's showing up because you're building relationship. It's not a superficial kind of, oh, thanks, and pushing her aside again. This requires intimacy,
Okay.
Ongoing,
ongoing. And when you can have that
building.
in yourself, it's clear to see others in intimacy as well. It becomes more obvious. But anywhere where there's stimulation outside of us through your husband, through your friend, through a coworker, or whatever, the question in our time now as we're releasing illusion and fear is like, huh, how am I creating this rather than how am I being victimized by this? What's being shown to me in a way that I am being invited to grow and be aware of, rather than how do I fix them so that I don't have to feel this discomfort again?
What's interesting to me is that the first time her and I really connected, like on this personal level, as like we had some kind of interaction, and then I got into this really quiet space where I went and she's like, just go, be with your loneliness. And I felt really deep
Mhm,
loneliness. And then
mhm.
most recently, when we connected after the call, I had this sense of, oh my God, somebody's missing. Like, and it was like this real sense of like abandonment, but I let this kind of anguish pass through me. And then, but now I'm like dealing with sadness and just that emptiness, which is actually triggering like addiction, like shopping type things. And so that's what's happening on that level.
Yeah, she's like your little one feeling seen and her amazing self is like a key for you.
Mhm. Blessings, Christine. Blessings to your little one.
Mhm.
Yeah, you got this.
Thank you,
Beautiful.
love.
I want to call on everybody with their hands raised and on video. And I really feel that it'd be great to get into a deeper process and then wrap up our call
Mhm.
from there. So y'all, before Ambujam dives in, I want to remind you again of the special offer, the links in the chat box underneath the video where you're watching the call from. Y'all participate. It's amazing what gets facilitated in the field.
Yeah, and
Highly,
there's like we we could have never every time we do one of these, retreats or the groups, we could have never thought or planned all the amazing things that happens. Like every time, it's like, what?
Extraordinary. I'm going to turn off my video and my audio. I'm going to give you
Okay.
the stage.
So I feel like to stay with today's topic of what is you, what is not you, you being who you are, letting go of falsity, illusion, identity, kind of dropping the coat away that you've been wearing that's not you, right? I feel like what we want to do is take you guys basically just deeper in the truth of who you are, anchor there, and we want to leave all preconceived notions at the door of what you think your true self even feels like. Like, wow, I have no clue. I guess I'll see, kind of thing. And you don't have to think your way there. Yep, you don't even have to effort. So we're just basically helping your human and your energy just come into the core of who you are and anchor and root at whatever you need in this moment to be deeper connected to yourself. And we're also letting go of contracts. So as you guys are doing that, there are these old soul contracts, agreements, lack of a better way to describe them, of having the experiences of having something outside of you be more valuable than something from within. Having an experience outside of you be more important, more powerful than something that could happen from within you. So there's just some stuff releasing around that. Contracts are ending. That you are the one, man. You are teacher, you are student, you are guru. Not in the way the mind thinks. It's energy, it's consciousness, it's embodiment, it's alignment. Yep, good, good, good. So releasing stuff out of the shoulders, the neck, the head. Old like connections and programming, and that you are the one you're looking for. Without a doubt. It's all there. It's just the beginning waiting for you. Yep, 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 yep. And we're also doing, as you're doing that, you're also bringing up some soul relationships that are old dynamics, old ways of being that they need updating and clearing right now too, to support all in their current places of where everyone's at. And true healing is never about pushing something away. It heals through consciousness and self-awareness and understanding and knowing. And what healing really is at the end of the day, why we have quote issues, is it's our old choices that no longer serve us, that are up to heal, complete, and reconcile, to embody who we are now. Yep, you guys are all getting ready to leap forward here in your consciousness. Yep. Okay, ready? And you're just going wherever you need to go next levels of embodiment, anchoring in yourself. It's all about you, you alone. Yep, so our process is completing now. It's been said so many times, the phrase, you've got this, right? We hear it a lot, but it is literally true. Trust, take the time to be curious of what is speaking to you within, what is getting your attention, your guidance, your teacher from within. What is it sharing with you? With your questions, your situations? How have you created them? How are they teaching you about you? Where are they in their transformations? And trust the whole process, knowing it is truly all sacred. Everything is always teaching us who we are. Everything. Yep, Spirit's pulling me out of your space. Thank you guys. That was a little quickie.
That was a quickie, but that was perfect. I can feel it was subtle but profound. And again, we talked about the subtle energies earlier. There's so much in the subtleties right now. Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me, John. And
Oh, it's been amazing.
I
I
love
have
our
a
conversations.
I do too. I do too. I just love
Just
where you take these
grateful.
things. They're so expansive. I have one question before we end tonight's call.
Mm.
What can we offer as a guidepost as to what we're expanding into? Again, we talked about the letting go and the fears and the veils and the illusions. It's like,
So, currently speaking, this last weekend, what was happening in astrology, which is astrology is really just the reflection of consciousness that we're all healing, awakening, transforming, and having opportunities to choose, right? This past weekend opened a whole new era of, it's like we could have these descriptions for years to come of like, oh, a new thing opened, oh, a new thing opened, oh, a new thing opened, right? But it's what it is that's different every time. It's also in the beginning of the Lionsgate thing too. So we're entering into a whole new era of consciousness that is available for those that are choosing it and that are ready to literally be it, to be able to, quote, hold it. You don't have to try to hold it. It's all the healing that you've done, the shifts, the awareness, everything that you're at. Your system just naturally moves forward into this new era way of being, but we still have to choose it too, which is kind of hard to describe with words. It's like buffet. It's given, but we still have to put the fork in and eat it, right?
right.
This new era is very expansive, way more access to not an identity perspective, but more of the true self perspective of awareness, expansion, and how things can happen within that really differently than doing it from the old, the mind, the this, the that. It's a whole different opening. It's very profound and very significant. And it just opened this weekend and it's only the beginning. Lionsgate will take that and like put it on steroids, basically. We can feel this new era inside of us. We just don't have labels for it. It's like a churning. It's like something's happening within that we just know we're ready for. And the mind doesn't know what to do with it yet. We just know we want to say yes. So say yes to these feelings in yourself that you don't have labels for, this like inkling, and go in there and let it teach you the quote new way, this new era. So it's a opening that we've not experienced before on a deeper level of truth, of true self, of living as true self, and it's only the beginning from there. And it'll keep shifting and opening and shifting and opening and deepening and opening but it's another significant shift that just opened this weekend. And so what I want to say is just keep feeling what that might feel like for you inside. What is this new way, I wonder? Because we just don't have a word for it. other than
Agreed.
more expansion, peace, the totality of the self is waiting,
Mm,
but our minds can't grasp it. So feel what it feels like. Feel how you want that more than anything. Like I want to be that
mm.
sovereign, free, whole, expansive more than anything. That is my life. That is what I desire. I don't want to live in these old ways anymore. It hurts too much, you know. It's not working. I'm bumping up against myself. There's a new way now. So that's the easiest way I can describe it.
That's a great way of describing it. Thank you for that,
Mhm.
for setting the field in that. Amazing as always with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here and present and bringing your amazing selves. Can't do it
Mm,
without you.
it's been wonderful to be here with you, Ambujam. Thank you. It's been wonderful to be here with you all as well on the replays, also to feel you. Sending my love, bowing and namaste, and look forward to seeing you all
Bye,
on the next
guys.
call. Bye, everybody.